Hello everybody, welcome to this PLE Schedule tutorial. Now, I'm going to show you today how I do PLEs, the schedules and stuff. You might want to do it slightly differently, you might want to use some of mine, not use some of mine, you might want to use all of it, you might just want to completely ignore it, that is completely up to you, but this is just what I do, so I'm just going to take you through this, okay? Right, first thing I'd do is I'd make sure it's on a 24-hour calendar, real life calendar. So, because obviously that means you gain an extra 4 weeks within the universe mode. Instead of 4 weeks, you can build storylines. It just makes it a lot more realistic as well. So yeah, I'd get it on a 24-hour calendar. The next thing I'd do is any real life events that are already happening already. So I've got SummerSlam Minneapolis, because I'm doing it in 26, 27. I've got SummerSlam Minneapolis, Money in the Bank, New Orleans, and I have got WrestleMania in Nashville, which isn't yet confirmed, I don't think, but it probably will be. So I've gone with that. Right, so that was what I'd do next. The next thing I'd do is I'd set a foundation, which I've already done. So you've got your Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, Night of Champions, King Queen of the Ring, and Backlash. So just some dead simple ones. Then with the rest of them is I'd put some question marks, just so you can pick what you do after you get the location, which we'll look at in a bit. So for example, if I get Berlin, I'm going to pick Bashing Berlin as the event. But if I get somewhere in the middle of nowhere, like, I don't know, well, not in the middle of nowhere, let's say I get Munich instead of Berlin, maybe I'll think, well, I might do Bad Blood, or I might do a Judgment Day reboot, I might do Millennium Final from, Germany, WCW, in Oberhausen, if you remember. It's a very OG PLE, that. I want to touch on this really quick. Clash at the Casino. So this is an idea I made. So another thing I'd recommend for you is make your own PLEs. Otherwise, like, what's the point if you don't make your own PLEs? I think it's quite an important part just to keep the enjoyment in. Because some people get bogged down with it being all realistic, but sometimes you just want to have a bit of fun with it. So what I do is, for Clash at the Casino, is I have a random match type. Well, not random. The superstars agree on a match type. So, like, that'd be walking into a casino and agreeing on the game. Then they'd agree on a stake. So what they can do, so they could bet money, they could bet her versus her, they could do loser gets fired, and they could literally have that in a Hell in a Cell match, steel cage match, no holds barred, loads of different stuff, ladder match, whatever. Yes, that's just a nice concept. However, you can use that if you like. I'm not bothered. I will be making a logo for it at some point when I do actually run the event. So that's what I do personally. So yeah, that's just one I have. There's loads more you can make. Like, you can do your own, like, Cyber Sunday, Cyber Saturday. You can bring stuff back. You can, there's loads of stuff you can do. You can even bring the Continental Classic into WWE. There's loads of stuff you can do. Anyway, the next thing I'd do is I'd get to picking the location. So outside of, the ones that are already booked, I keep Saturday night's main event in America, because I'm not flying people out to Australia for it, because that'd just be ridiculous, for a small event. So what I'd do is I'd go numbers between 1 and 10, and what I'd do is I'd pick 2, 6 and 6, right? Oh, fucking hell, it's got to be 2 separate numbers. 6 and 10. So that's Elimination Chamber, and 9, 8, 7, 6 Crown Jewel. So now I have to pick between Crown Jewel and Elimination Chamber. Do I want it to be international or American? I just split them in half. You might want to do it slightly different proportion. You might try to have one international event. You might want to have them all internationally. Just what I prefer to do. So I'd probably pick at this stage. With, obviously, I like Elimination Chamber being abroad, to be fair, because especially in Canada, because I think that's where it works best. But when Elimination Chamber's abroad, it's like, it gives people a chance to, like, I don't know, like, have their own little WrestleMania without being on the card. Do you know what I mean? So, like, a bit like with Sami Zayn this year, if you remember. And obviously, with Kevin Owens in the end. Obviously, with Crown Jewel now going to Perth, I might probably put it in America because, you know, the possibilities have become a bit limitless there. Or maybe I'll put Elimination Chamber in American, you know. So, is to do that just 5 more times. So, well, not 5, 4 more times. And then you've got them all in different places. So I will go and do that now and I'll get back to you. Alright, so now I've done that, I've got 5 international events and 5 American events. I haven't specified worse. That's what I'm going to do next. Is essentially, this is just a short list here. So I actually have 40 different venues for mine. I've put Antarctica down there just for a bit of fun, just before anybody goes mental at me. But these are just some like realistic / like interesting places you can have events internationally. So what I'd do then is I'd get number between 1 and 20 on my list. So just list, it can be more than 20, less than 20. Just list some places you'd like to have a PLE. And you got 20 and 17, so I'd decide between 20 and 17. So Leon or Antarctica. For a laugh, right, let's go along there, let's just say Antarctica, right? So I'd pick Antarctica and I'd list it somewhere in the international ones. So I could say Elimination Chamber, right? I could do, now I'm thinking about it, I could do one at the start of October, and then, you know, you pick and choose your one. So let's just say Elimination Chamber, right? Now, I've actually jumped the gun there. What I do beforehand, usually, is I would pick a Saudi Arabia event. Now, you notice I don't include them in the list because they always have 2 PLEs in a year. So already they've had the Royal Rumble. So in 2026. So I'm gonna put that straight away in this international One Night Champions King of the Ring. So we've got we'll go Jeddah, right? Because Royal Rumble's in Riyadh. So you got that one. So anyway, I'd have Elimination Chamber in Antarctica, and then I'd just do that for the same for the other ones, really. I wouldn't say, right, we're going to do this one first. Pick a country, and then pick wherever. Right, and that is the international events done. Obviously ended up with Mexico City for Backlash, Vancouver for Bad Blood, and Clash at the Coliseum. Again, make your own PLEs. It makes it so much more fun. So, yeah, Clash at the Coliseum. By the way, in-game, I'll probably just use Clash at the Castle for that one, right? Because I can't be arsed downloading the thing. It doesn't actually matter. If you're doing it via TikTok and you upload your results there, it's much more different. If you're doing it for personal use, it doesn't matter at all. If you're doing it for a live stream or like an Instagram, like, that's a bit different. But personally, you shouldn't just use the arenas just willy-nilly. Anyway, the next thing we would do after that is we would now go to the American ones, right? There are 2 ways I like to do this, right? The first one is the random US city generator. Now, what it'll do is it'll give you a nice, like, place of where you can do the events. Obviously, we've got here Phoenix, Indianapolis, and Anchorage, just to start us off. So obviously, we'd probably choose Indianapolis here, but to be fair, with the implications of thingy, I'm going every 2 years, so Indianapolis gets SummerSlam the year after, and then 2 years later gets, just not every 2 years you get one of the other ones. So I'll actually go Phoenix here, and we'll go Phoenix. They can host, let's just say for now, let's go with the June 27th PLE. Alright, now, there we go. We've got that all sorted. So Phoenix, Arizona will host Summit in June 27th. So I do that for all of them, really. But that is just one way of doing it, like I say. Because the thing is with this, the only flaws with it is, look, Anchorage, Alaska. Have you ever seen that host a WWE event? Have you ever heard of that in your life? Probably not. So, you know, and you miss out on some of them as well. So, like, different cities aren't on there that you might want to use. So they're not on there. The other thing I might want to do, though, is might be worthwhile, is, so what I did for my last one, and I did this for my house shows as well, is there are I googled this before, by the way, I'm not a nerd. So there's 1,542 episodes of Raw. What I'd do is I'd go in and I'd randomise 1, and I'll go 354, and let's compare it to 216. Okay, so Raw episode 216, where do we get? Des Moines, Iowa. I should probably put where was. That was in Des Moines, and where was Raw episode? What was it the one? I've fucking forgotten now. Let's just say it was 324. 324. And it's in Brussels, Belgium. There you go. Wow. Okay. Because we've already got some international events there. I'll probably go for an odd one in Des Moines, Iowa. So then I'd go, I don't know. For this one, I'll probably make it like Saturday night's main event, just for Seth Rollins' sake. Probably. We'll go around about just before Crown Jewel for this one. Yeah, Des Moines, Iowa. So there you go, there you have it. So there's just some ideas of what you can do now. There you go, you've pretty much finalised that then. That's pretty much done, I'd say, but there's loads of different things you can do, like I say, with it. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. You know, we finalised PLE schedule, all that sort of stuff, and you can do that, you know, on so many different levels. So, you know, there's so many things we can do. So we've really scraped the tip of the iceberg, really. There's plenty much more you can do with this sort of stuff. But yeah, just have a little play around, I'd say, and just, you know, enjoy it. And then just one more thing I'd probably say is, you know, like, look at your events after you've chosen the location sometimes. It's like I did with Clash of the Coliseum Bologna. Like now I've picked Phoenix, I don't know, well, now it's in a decent city, I might put Judgment Day, you know, or I could do Fastlane or Payback, you know, just something like that. So for the sake of this, let's just put Judgment Day. So yeah, dead simple, really. Yeah, so I hope that helped the viewers, hope that helped you all. If you have anything, you know, if you have any custom PLEs of your own, do let me know your ideas. I'd be excited to see them. And yeah, that's it from me. Thanks very much for watching.